Hey friends, welcome back to the Bald Booktuber. My name is Scott. Today we're going to wrap up my October, which was not terribly productive, but it was quite good. If you checked in on my October mid-month, you know that I was struggling a bit, and that continued for the most part. But I did read some great stuff. I am excited to talk about what I read, so let's get to it, shall we? I started the month listening to a book kind of for work, so sort of a book club discussion around the book Dare to Lead, Tough Conversations, Whole Hearts. This is by Brene Brown. So if you don't know this about me, I do have an advanced degree. I've got a Master of Arts in Leadership, and it is a topic with which I am pretty familiar. I've read a lot of books on leadership and teamwork and these types of things, so it is a topic with which I am quite passionate. And the downside to that is that I know a lot about what's already been written in these kind of things, so it takes a little bit to wow me with new stuff. And this one definitely did not wow me. So it's 2 Stanley nods. I think the big problem I had with this book is that it rehashed and recapped a lot of stuff from what I would consider significantly better books. The one thing I think she did really, really well that I haven't seen done well in other stuff is the power of vulnerability and the importance of kind of building trust through vulnerability with the people around you. So being willing to admit mistakes, being willing to say when you're wrong, change course, listen to those around you, that kind of stuff. She has battled with addiction in her life. She talks very openly about her journey with Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, and these kinds of things in the book. And she does a lot of public speaking where she talks about it as well. So vulnerability is something near and dear to her. And that stuff I all really, really liked. What I didn't particularly care for is... and she gave full credit to the authors, to the books, whatever. It wasn't a matter of plagiarism. Just a matter of it felt like she was kind of shoehorning in ideas that I've seen done better. So she talks about like the Stockdale Paradox, which is a really cool idea. It's found in Jim Collins's Good to Great. And the idea is that as a leader, you need to be able to have unwavering faith that you will succeed, the will to get there, but also be able to confront brutal facts and say when things are not going well and that kind of stuff. So it's very well done. And it does semi fit into what she was talking about in that chapter, but it just felt shoehorned into me. So like I said, 2 Stanley nods, not bad necessarily, just not what I was looking for. So that's that. Next up, we have Rise of the Dragon. So let me grab this. So this is side by side with The World of Ice and Fire, which was put out a few years back. It's the same type of thing. They look great on the shelf together. So what Rise of the Dragon basically is it's Blood and Fire told in the style of The World of Ice and Fire. So if you don't know, Blood and Fire is sort of a historical account with various different interpretations of things, 3 to 4 different accounts that vary and often contradict one another. The World of Ice and Fire is just a straight, here's what happened, and that's what Rise of the Dragon is. It's done by Elio M. Garcia and Linda Antonsen, who I guess together run Westeros.org, which is a site I've maybe been to many, many years ago, but not recently. I wanted this primarily for the artwork, and the artwork is insanely good. So, you know, it gives you an idea here of the type of artwork you're going to get in the book. It is outstanding. Just to show one more right in the middle there. I listened to it through audio. It's done by Harry Lloyd, who also did the Dunk and Egg novellas on audio. And he played Viserys in the show. So talented actor. And decent narrator. I wouldn't say he's a favorite of mine. I wish they had gotten Simon Vance back, who did Blood and Fire, but it was fine. and so that's okay. 4 Stanley nods. It was good. You're not going to get, like I said, anything new or groundbreaking, but for me, it was worth it for the artwork. I picked it up on sale through Amazon, so about 20 bucks off the list price, so worth it to me. And I knew I was probably going to listen to it on audio, which I did, so it all worked out. So I did a review for it, a short one, but basically, if you're thinking you're going to get a bunch of new revelations and new stuff, you're not. That's not what this is. So, choose wisely, I guess. All right. Next up, we did our rereads of Brian Lee Durfee's excellent 5 Warrior Angels series. We have Book 1, The Forgetting Moon. Book 2, The Blackest Heart. I feel like I've held these up a lot in my videos, but I did finally complete both of them. Beefy boys. So I really, really enjoy this series. We have Book 3, the final book, The Lonesome Crown, coming out November 29th. I have put in a request for an advance reader copy. I'm waiting to hear back. So if I get it prior to that, I'll read it prior to that, but otherwise I will wait. I reread these immersively with the exceptional Tim Gerard Reynolds, one of my top 3 favorite narrators of all time. He's excellent for this series. And essentially I gave the same ratings I gave the first time around. I gave The Forgetting Moon 4 Stanley nods. I gave The Blackest Heart 5. I just think The Blackest Heart is better in every conceivable way. I think Book 1, The Forgetting Moon, does a very, very good job of introducing characters and motivations and kind of setting up the board for who needs to do what and where we're going. But I love everything that's fleshed out even more in The Blackest Heart, as far as the prophecies, as far as the religious texts and world, as far as all of the Bloodwood Assassin stuff. I think that's all fantastic. I cannot wait to get the conclusion of this. See where Jondralyn, who's my favorite character, see what she does, Princess Jondralyn. I also love Princess Tala, her younger sister. I'm very interested to see where her character arc is going. I'm hoping for horrible deaths for the horrible characters in the books, especially King Jovan. He's the worst. Leaf and Glade Shopper, all brothers, they're the worst. So plenty of people to cheer for and against. I'm also very, very excited to see, especially with where the story leaves, what's going to happen with Galt Albric. He is a fascinating character. So lots of good stuff to tune in for and to figure out what's going to happen. I am super, super excited to see where the series is taking us. So Durfee, excellent job. I hope you are able to keep writing, brother, because I love your stuff. All right. And then finally, I finally completed the advanced reader copy, the arc for Ashes of Man. Again, I don't have a physical copy yet. I won't until December 13th or so. But here is Kingdoms of Death. This was book 4. Ashes of Man is, of course, book 5. We leave Hadrian in a terrible state at the end of Kingdoms of Death, and I don't know that I would say things improve that much for him. Certainly, some very, very rough stuff happens to Hadrian and subsequently to me. So once again, Ruocchio, you know what you did. So I can only assume that the conclusion in book 6 will absolutely destroy me as well. So great work, sir. Ruocchio is the man. I can't wait to see what he writes after Sun Eater, but we do have one book to go. So hopefully, he's working on it right now. I thought maybe by next year, but it might actually be until 2024. I'm not sure yet. So either which way, I'll be reading it on release day, if not before. So can't wait. If you haven't checked out Sun Eater, I keep singing its praises. I highly encourage it. It is fantastic. So, the only other really thing to talk about that happened in October, outside of, like I said, the recaps of House of the Dragon with Mike and Madison, which continued, which I'll link, is I did a chat with Chaz on his channel, Bookish Chaz. He's a fellow Arizonan, and we had a great time. Talked for a couple hours, everything from books to shows we're watching to everything in between. I'll have that linked as well. Do check out his channel. He's a great guy. He deserves a much, much bigger audience than he has, and I do hope you'll check him out. So beyond that, I hope everybody had a great reading month. I will quickly go over my stats, even though they're embarrassingly bad. So like I said, I read 5 books. My average rating was a 4, of course, as it typically is. 2,864 pages completed, 573 pages per book, and 92 pages per day. So a little bit less than I would like to get to. I like to average more than 100 pages a day when I can. So hopefully November will be better. I will be having the November plans video coming up shortly. Actually, it will probably air before this does. We'll see. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everyone. And as always, publication order always, my friends.